may have had a troubled past, but Vietnam is a country with a very bright future. Tourism is booming, with more than 5 million people arriving last year, including some 200,000 Australians. They are drawn by a fascinating and vibrant country with a unique culture and ancient heritage, excellent beaches, top-class resorts, and a warm and welcoming people. And nowhere is this more evident than in Da Nang, Vietnam's third largest city.
Da Nang has become just a great overall destination, not just for golf tourists, but for all types of leisure tourism, culinary tourism. The culture is well preserved here. So for those that are traveling from the Western countries such as Australia, it really gives a nice flavor of Asia and just a wonderful experience.
Golfers have also discovered that Da Nang has some of the best courses in Asia, offering players of all abilities the chance to test their skills on challenging layouts designed by some of the game's biggest names.
I'm sure all players that do come to this region are in for a big surprise. We have 3 fantastic golf courses in one destination. We've been open now for about 5 years. Our numbers have gone from 7,000 rounds in the first year to last year we had 40,000 rounds.
And while Korean and Japanese golfers flock to the Da Nang area, numbers are also increasing dramatically from down under.
The Australian market is one of our most important markets, and it is the fastest growing market. We see more and more Australians as time moves on, and with the word of mouth, everything is growing in Australia.
Montgomery Links was the first of the new courses to be built in the Central Coast area and is just a 15-minute drive from Da Nang International Airport. As the name suggests, it was designed by 8-time European Order of Merit winner Colin Montgomery. It's 6,053 metres off the blue tees and plays to a par of 72.
I think the fact that Colin Montgomery was known very much as a strategist rather than a power player shows up in his philosophy of design. The golf course is very much a thinking person's golf course. Straight down the middle is the best place to go.
The first standout hole is the 5th, a picturesque par 3 that features a carry over water to a narrow green that requires a well-struck shot to hold the putting surface. Once safely negotiated, players come to the first of the signature holes, the par 5 6th.
The 6th hole, I think, is one of my favourite holes on the golf course. I call it a risk-reward hole. It's a par 5. Standing on the tee box, the player's looking to hit a slight draw off the tee, a little bit of extra run on the downslope. They come up to about the 220-yard mark from the green. From there, there's 2 options. First is the layup to about 100 yards, or, if you're feeling lucky, you can try and run one up through the throat into a 2-tiered green.
Rounding out the front half is the par 4 9th. Teeing off through a chute of native casuarinas, this stunning hole requires 2 well-struck shots before reaching a large green protected by water on the right. Little wonder it is rated the 2nd hardest hole on the course.
Oh.
Turning for home, the par 4 10th is another standout. A forgiving open fairway allows players to negotiate this true dogleg over several strategically placed pine trees and bunkers. The deep green requires you to pay close attention to the pin position.
If we do have a signature hole, it is the 12th hole. It's probably the most photographed hole here at Montgomery Links. It's a par 5 and it has 3 distinct sections to it. From the tee, there's a lake on the left, so you need to play slightly right of centre of the fairway. From there, the longer players have an opportunity at about 230 to 240 yards to run it up into the green. But most of us need to play it over some cross bunkers to around about the 100-yard mark. From there, a pitching wedge into a very narrow green that's well bunkered at the front.
On opening day, the course designer simply said of the 14th, "Just give it all you've got." This dramatic 165-metre par 3 is played from an elevated tee to a large, well-bunkered green set below. Just to make things even more interesting, the right-hand side is guarded by water. Easy to see why Monty was so enthusiastic about the hole he designed.
18th hole is a par 5 to finish. Great looking hole. From the tee, you can see the clubhouse in the background, the villas on the right-hand side. Challenge is to get past the water on the right-hand side, and then from there, a nice long second shot, leaving yourself around about 100 to 75 yards from the green. The green is a challenge. There's a definite bottom tier and a back tier, and depending on the pin position, the shot in can be quite a challenge.
It's easy to see why Montgomery Links has been voted one of the top courses in Asia. With its natural vegetation, strategic bunkering and demanding layout, this is a resort-style course that will have you talking long after the 19th hole. Little more than a well-struck driver from Montgomery Links is Da Nang Golf Club. The dunes layout was designed by Australian legend Greg Norman and has been voted the best course in Vietnam by several leading golf publications.
The course here at Da Nang is a links-style course. It goes in through the dunes and the natural casuarina trees, and the natural topography has been well preserved. It's a fast, hard, sandbelt type of golf course, and it gives a lot of different looks. So it's a golf course that never gets boring and is enough of a challenge for the low handicap player, but it doesn't beat up the high handicap player either. So it's a great golf course for everybody.
After a par 4, par 3 start, the course starts to show its teeth on the third, which is rated 2 on the card. It's a par 4 that requires 2 accurate shots to find the putting surface, which is elevated and well guarded by bunkers in front and on the right. Norman is famous for his short par 4s, and the 7th is another cracker from the Sharks' bag of tricks, providing great risk-reward options for players.
Very nice.
It doglegs slightly from right to left and is well bunkered most of the way down the left side. The long and bold players will try to reach the green in one, but it requires a perfect drive.
The 10th hole, it's not our signature hole, but it's one of them, and it is a monster par 5. It's 630 yards from the back tees. It has that signature double dog leg that Greg Norman likes to put into a lot of his golf courses. So it's very difficult to reach into. Only the extraordinarily long hitters will do that, but it takes 2 well-placed shots in order to have a short iron into the green. The green is 2-tiered. From left to right, the higher, smaller portion being up on the left. If you don't hit the right part of that green, you have a difficult 2-putt. So it's a great challenge to begin the back 9.
And that challenge doesn't let up, with Norman's design throwing up another cracking hole straight away.
The 11th hole is a wonderful par 3, picturesque, well bunkered in the front with steep faces and natural bunkers that have some of these native grasses in them, so it gives you a nice rugged look. The green slopes from front left to back right, and it is also 2-tiered, and so it favors the left to right fade shot from the right-handed player.
At 423 metres off the blue tees, the 13th is the longest par 4 on the course and is ranked the hardest hole at Da Nang. A strong drive over a fairway mound will leave a mid-iron to an elevated green that is bunkered on the left. The 14th is another of Norman's short par 4s that can be reached in one, but only a long straight drive will do, as the green is well bunkered on both sides.
The 16th hole is our signature hole. It is just a picturesque par 3 that goes from tee to green straight out into the East Sea with the Cham Islands in the background. It's not a long par 3. It only measures about 150 yards from the back tee, but it is very undulating, well bunkered in front, and gives the golfer the absolute gorgeous scene of the beach in the background for here at Da Nang.
When Greg Norman was building this course, he said he'd be doing a very poor job if he made a boring layout out of a site like this, but as the thousands who have played it will confirm, and the awards that it has earned have proved, this course is anything but boring. A tick over 50 kilometres north of Da Nang is Laguna Langko, which opened in 2012. It's a 6,362 metre par 71 layout that has already been described as the best course from the extensive portfolio of 6-time major winner Sir Nick Faldo. Laguna is Faldo's second project in Vietnam, and it was awarded Best New Course in Asia Pacific in 2013.
Mr. Nick Faldo was very happy with the golf course. He came 3 times during the site visits, and I played 9 holes with him when he came here, and he was very happy with the golf course, and he believes he's got the best course in Vietnam here.
Once you have played the layout, it's hard to argue with Faldo's assessment. The first of the feature holes is the 4th, a dogleg par 4 that begins with an intimidating tee shot over scrub, avoiding rice fields on the left, trees and bunkers on the right. Big hitters can cut off more of the dogleg to leave a shorter second, but most players will be left with a medium to long club into a tricky green.
The 7th hole was recently voted one of the best 18 holes in Asia. It's a classic short par 4, 362 yards from the back tee. The longer hitters can try and take it on with a driver, but you've got to be hitting it really straight or there's bunkers everywhere. There's a large fairway bunker on the right side. The normal handicap golfer should be playing a rescue or mid-iron off the tee to leave a short wedge shot into the green. They'll be faced with an undulating green, but however, it's a good birdie chance.
Another birdie chance comes on the visually stunning par 3 8th, although that might depend on where they've put the flag on its enormous sloping green. The putting surface is guarded by steep bunkers on the front, left and right sides, so missing short will leave a very testing recovery. Once you're done here, it's time to get the camera ready.
The 9th hole is probably the most beautiful hole on the course. Short par 4, again drivable for the long hitter, but it narrows 50 yards in from the green. There's a large waste bunker on the left side. We run alongside the beach and a great birdie chance, but scenically the most beautiful hole on the golf course.
3 huge stones behind the green immediately catch the eye on the par 3 11th. Golfers hit from an elevated tee to a green which is 50 yards long and full of undulations, and anything right is going to find trouble in the timber. Club selection is vital here to avoid a very long putt. Unlucky for some, the 13th requires an accurate tee shot to the right side of this downhill par 4. That's because of the water that runs down the left and across the fairway, and also around the back of the green.
The 18th hole, 621 yards par 5, it's a beast. Off the tee, you've got 230 yards to carry the first bunker. You've got a large waste bunker on the left. Then after that, you've got 3 fairway bunkers to contend with. Once you've contended with all of them, you've got a very sloping green and just a tough hole. You'd be glad to get out of this with a par.
The golf club is the centrepiece of a secluded resort complex that offers visitors the chance to stay on site at the 5-star Banyan Tree Lanko and beachfront Angsana Lanko hotels. Both properties offer a selection of room and dining options, beaches, swimming pools and impressive facilities. Covering 280 hectares, it was the first world-class integrated resort built in Vietnam.
This is a great place to come and stay and play. We've got 2 5-star resorts next door. You come in set in beautiful surroundings and it's a very memorable golf course. No 2 holes are the same. I think that's the best thing about Laguna.
Great courses designed by legendary players in a country that offers something for everyone. What more could any golfer need? So when you're planning your next overseas golfing holiday, maybe it's time to say, good morning Vietnam.
Xin chào Australia!
Vietnam Airlines operates daily direct flights from Sydney and Melbourne to Ho Chi Minh in Vietnam, with easy and regular daily connections to more than 20 cities in Vietnam, including Da Nang and Hanoi. For flight bookings or more information, contact your local travel agent or visit vietnamairlines.com. For more information on golf in Vietnam, visit gulfcoastvietnam.com, and for golf bookings, head to golfasian.com.